Hey everybody, it's good to see you. Thanks for jumping on here with us this evening, giving up a little bit of your Wednesday evening to come and join us here. Good to see some of you. I see Teresa and Fran and Sheila, Ron, Sandra, Linda, Whit, Josh, Mary Beth, and several others. So good to see you all. Thank you again for joining us here, and hopefully we'll have a few more come and join us as well. If you're watching this at a later time, thank you as well for taking the time and watching here and just being invested enough in our ministry to find out what's next. And as we continue to navigate these unprecedented times, this is one of those times that I'm hopefully going to be able to lay out a game plan that we will kind of slowly press that accelerator on, as we've done as a church as a whole. We've resumed activities and meeting together. We've done just that. We've tried to just kind of slowly press that accelerator, and thankfully we've gained some traction, we've gained some speed, and it has been great to see a lot of you here in our services, and hopefully in the weeks to come to see more and more of you. But we're here again, gathering together virtually through the live setup that we've got here to give you some updates and announcements as we approach the fall of 2020. It's crazy to think about that we're already coming into fall, into what has been just a crazy year as a whole. It's going to be interesting to see what people say and how we look back on 2020. But we did one of these videos back in June. We did one in July, and so here now in August. Meant to do it earlier, so thanks for hanging with us and joining us today, almost midway through the month. But here we go. And hopefully this is our last one that we have to do like this, because we, as a staff, as a church, we have begun meeting and, like I said, just kind of slowly pressing that accelerator on things of getting back to normal and gathering back together. And so this is kind of another press of that accelerator there. And hopefully this is the last time we have to do it this way, and we'll begin meeting together in person once again. And I can begin giving some of these announcements and updates to you face-to-face rather than staring at a camera. But again, thank you for being with us, and I'm excited to kind of share some of the things that we've got laid out today. Our staff met yesterday and for a fairly lengthy time, and we kind of got on the same page about some startup dates and ways that I keep going back to that accelerator analogy, but that's kind of what we've adopted as we've begun to get back to normal and just slowly pressing that to where we can gain some speed and not just floor it and kind of catch everybody off guard and make some mistakes, but slowly, cautiously, safely, thoughtfully, prayerfully begin to get some things back going together. And so to start off, I want to just let you know of some points of information for our church as a whole, and then you will see how those points of information there apply, and we plug in our ministry into these things that our church as a whole will be doing. And so as we do that, as we get started here, let me do just that. Let me kind of just remind you and inform you of a few things for our church as a whole. Sunday mornings, we have begun to do this two-service format back in the end of May of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., two different worship opportunities to gather as the church. And that format right there will continue, we decided yesterday, through the end of the year. And so we're going to continue meeting in two worship services, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Through the end of 2020. Is our vision and our plan right now. And then, of course, beginning this Sunday, in between those times at 10 a.m., our life group meetings on campus are going to begin as well. And so that format right there of Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. worship, 10 a.m. life groups, and 11 a.m. worship is going to continue on through the remainder of 2020. That leads us on then to Sunday evenings. Our Sunday evening activities, services, and some of the other things that were tied in there, we've decided will not resume through the end of 2020 right now. We're going to just kind of suspend those, take a break from that time there, and reevaluate and press that accelerator a little more as we approach 2021. However, you will hear about these little, we're going to schedule some little one-off events and fellowships that will take place on Sunday evenings, and so keep your ear and your eyes open for those as we do that. But for now, just a point of information there, Sunday evenings, worship services, we will not carry on with those right now through the end of the year. So Sunday mornings continuing on as normal through the end of the year, Sunday evenings continuing on as we are right now by not meeting and holding those activities for the time being through the end of the year, and then we'll have some little one-off events and fellowships. But that leads us then also to Wednesday evenings. Our Wednesday evening activities, some have already started back up. I know our student worship is already getting going. They're probably meeting as we speak right now up on our third floor in their area, worshiping together and gathering together. And so that will continue on. Our instrumentalists, we have begun to meet once again for rehearsal at 7 p.m. on Wednesday evenings. I'll be meeting with them here shortly after this video wraps up. And so those two things are already going. Some of our other activities, prayer meeting, Awana, those will be starting back up soon, and the date that we have put on those for now is resuming September 9th for those activities, for some of those other activities. It's not everything. That you'll be hearing more details about that, but some regular activities will be resuming on Wednesday nights, September 9th. So, those are just, like I said, some general points of information for you to know as we approach the fall for our church as a whole. Now that you have kind of that frame of reference, I'll be able to explain a little bit more on some things that affect and involve our ministry as a whole. So let me walk through and just kind of address each one of our groups and our ensembles that are tied in with our ministry here. And then I want to tell you about an event that we're going to be having and hosting together as a ministry. And then we're going to wrap up this time tonight with some feedback. I'm going to tell you about some feedback that I need from you and how you can submit that for us from each of you. Now, as we continue on, I'm going to monitor, like I've always done, questions, comments, that kind of thing. And so if you have something to share, if you have a question about anything that we're walking through, if you're watching this live, you can go ahead and comment those, and I will do my best to follow up on those as we go throughout this time together. Okay, so let's go through our groups and ensembles here. First off, our instrumentalists and our tech team have already resumed regular activities for them when we continued or resumed our regular meeting times together on Sundays back at the end of May. Our tech team and our instrumentalists were involved in that right off the bat and have been very active ever since. And so I just want to express a sincere and a big word of thanks to each one of you that have played an instrument, are playing an instrument in our services. Those of you that work behind the scenes at the soundboard, behind a camera, running computers and different things like that. And for those of you that are not on those teams, when you see those that are, would you please join me and express a huge word of thanksgiving to them for their faithful service each and every week. And so those two teams and groups are already underway and active. And so let's move on to our adult worship choir. I'm excited to share some of this information. This has been one of the more challenging things to press that gas pedal, that accelerator on a little bit more, just because singing is a whole nother ballgame whenever we talk about these worlds, the world that and circumstances of our world that we're in right now. But our game plan as of now, I'm excited to announce, is to resume our rehearsals on Sunday, September 13th. That allows us to get through the Labor Day holiday and then to begin gathering together once again. Now, for now, we'll be the only group meeting on Sunday evenings. As I mentioned earlier, there will be no other activities on Sunday evenings right now through the end of the year. And so as we resume meeting together and rehearsing on Sunday evenings, beginning September 13th, we're going to be the only group meeting here on campus. So because of that, and with a few other things in mind that I might share at another time, we are going to begin meeting at a different time than we had previously. We're going to move our start time for rehearsals starting Sunday, September 13th to 5 p.m. At the latest, we will go through 6:30 p.m. Probably won't go that long when we first kind of kick back off, but as we approach things like Christmas and that kind of thing, we may need more of the rehearsal time. And so note that not only the start date of September 13th, but a new time, which is 5 p.m. that we'll be gathering together. And then we also will not be meeting in our choir room. We are going to come and gather down here in our worship center. We're actually going to sit out here in the pews, where that allows us the space that we need, have a little bit of elbow room and that kind of thing as we begin to sing and to rehearse and to join together once again. Note this also, so there will be some other guidelines and policies, just like we've done for our church as a whole for choir rehearsals, that will come as we approach that date. We're still, even from tomorrow, about a month away from that date. And so there will be some other things that we'll be asking you to do, some policies, some guidelines, just like we've done on everything else that we will have in place and that I'll share with you at a later time. But one point that I did want to go ahead and let you know about, just so you can have this in your mind as a point of reference, is that meeting here in the worship center, sitting in these pews, we will have had 2 other worship services that morning before we meet at 5 p.m. on Sundays. But please know this, you've probably seen it, those of you that have been coming on campus, but we have a commercial sanitizing fogger that we use to sanitize this entire building. Sprayed up into the air, sprayed across each pew, our stage, our balcony, our sound booth, all over everything that a sanitizing fog lands on and disinfects this area. And that happens following each one of those morning services each and every week. So the 9 a.m. service wraps up. During that 10 o'clock hour, we sanitize this building to prepare it for those that will be attending the 11 o'clock service. Following that 11 o'clock service, that same thing takes place and happens. Our people come in and we sanitize this place. And so when you come at 5, you can rest assured that when you sit down and as you come into this room, that will have been done, and it will be as clean as we can possibly make it and sanitized for you as we come in there. So, again, excited to announce Sunday, September 13th, 5 p.m. down here in the worship center. We will begin worshiping through our rehearsals together once again. Now, note that I'm referring to just our rehearsals resuming on September 13th. We are actually going to delay leading each and every Sunday morning from the choir loft until October 4th. Now, again, a few reasons goes into that. This delay allows us just to kind of get back into the swing of things a little bit. We will have 3 weeks of rehearsal in September 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. And then on that first Sunday in October there, we will gather again in the loft and lead out in our service times through our time of music and worship together. That delay also allows us to be prepared for that first time that we're back in the loft. I would love for it to provide us an opportunity to sing an anthem, a special for our church, our congregation, that first time that we're back up there. And so that's why we push that back a little bit, is just to allow us to kind of get back into the swing of things and then be prepared the best that we can whenever we are back up there. Now, another quick word as far as gathering together in the loft. We will be doing what every place and everywhere is doing, we as a church included, in the social distancing aspect. And we will do what we can to spread out across that choir loft. As you can see behind me, and as you can think back on times that we've done our People of the Church Sundays, our multi-generational Sundays, we've got a good-sized choir loft back there. And so I feel confident that we will be able to spread out and to be able to gather safely, cautiously, but to be able to sing again from the choir loft and share with our church in that way. And so I think that's all that I've got for now for our adult worship choir, but those 2 points of information there. Rehearsals resuming September 13th, can't wait. Leading from the loft once again October 4th, again, just absolutely cannot wait. That is one of the things that I have missed the most during this time and in our services, is those moments when I can just step back from my mic and our choir's voices are just booming and leading our congregation. And so I can't wait to have that behind me once again. And I hope you are as excited about it as I am. So again, if you have questions about any of that, I'll move on in what I've got for now. But if you have questions, those of you watching live right now, please don't hesitate to drop those in the comments. If you're watching this at another time, don't hesitate to contact me through, you can text me, call me, email here at the church, and we'll get those questions answered for you, okay? Let's move on. Our next ensemble that I want to talk about is our Anthem Student Choir, and I had some of our students express the excitement and the interest in getting that up and going, and I feel exactly the same. Cannot wait. And so, as I mentioned earlier, some of our other Wednesday night ministries and activities will be resuming on September 9th, Wednesday night, September 9th. We're going to hold true to that as well for Anthem Student Choir. We will be resuming rehearsals for them that same night, Wednesday, September 9th. Our time and space for rehearsal will remain the same. We are going to meet at 5:30 in the choir room, and that's our norm. Right? That's what we've been doing, and that's what we will continue on doing. 5:30 Wednesday night, September 9th, in the choir room. The choir room up there, for the size of group that we have, is going to be adequate to spread out for this group, and so we'll be able to spread and take those precautions there, and that will be the only group meeting in that room right now, and so that helps as well for traffic flow, for those points of contact, and that kind of thing. And so Anthem Student Choir, get pumped, get excited. We will be back Wednesday night, September 9th, following the Labor Day holiday. We'll see you at 5:30 up there in the choir room. I've got some exciting things for you that I can't wait to share with you once we get back together. Let's move on. Children's choirs. Looking at a couple of comments here real quick. Sandra, we're going to get to Christmas in August here in just a few moments. And Nancy, absolutely, and there'll be more precautions and things to come so that we can execute this and get back together as safely and as cautiously as we can. So let's move on. Children's choirs, our kids' choirs. What I've got to say about those right now is not going to sound like much, but I've got more to come as we move on here shortly. Our children's choirs are not going to be resuming their regular weekly Sunday night rehearsals for now. Okay, there's no other Sunday evening activities going on right now except for our adult choir, and a lot of our children's choir leaders are involved in adult choir, and so they would be pulled in two different directions, and so that would be difficult there. So I just want to say that statement right there, that right now they're not going to be resuming those regular activities, but press pause on children's choirs. We're going to come back to that. I've got some exciting news for them and our student choir here in just a moment. So just press pause there for just a second. And that actually leads us to look further into the year and talk about Christmas. Somebody commented, "Yay, Christmas," a second ago, and I agree. This week for me has been heavy in this game plan here, and then also thinking forward to Christmas, because this is our time. I had originally told you in our last update that this Sunday, August 16th, would be our Christmas in August celebration. We've bumped that back just a little bit. Hopefully you've kind of gathered on that with the lack of advertising and that kind of thing. But we don't know what 2020 is going to hold, of course. We don't know what next month is going to hold. So as we look towards Christmas, we don't know what that's going to look like. There's absolutely no way to know or even speculate, because every time I think they're in this crisis, not just our church, but our government and everybody, as we've speculated something, we've had to readjust and then kind of press that accelerator cautiously and adjust and steer with the curves as we go throughout this calendar year. And so we don't know what Christmas is going to look like this year. My plan, my vision for now, and I would just ask y'all to go with me for now, is to press forward and to be ready to carry on with what that time of year looks like and what it holds normally. And then we will adjust, we will steer, we will go with the curves, go with the flow as they're thrown at us. And so please know that everything that I'm about to throw at you is just our game plan, same as everything else that we've done as well. It is just that precaution there of being careful. But let me go on and say that Christmas in August, that is our very first Christmas event every year. Had originally said that it was going to be this Sunday. We've pushed that back a couple of weeks to August 30th. And I'm really excited about this. It's going to look different. It's going to be a little bit different. We are going to host that as a live streamed event this year. And it's going to be fun. Is it going to be different? Yes, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun, entertaining, interactive event for your whole family. And so I would challenge you, grab your kids, your students, everybody that is involved in our ministry or that you think might want to get involved this year, and get them around your device, whether that is your computer, your phone, whatever, TV, whatever it is. We'll be streaming just like we do our Sunday morning services. We'll be streaming on our church's Facebook page, and we'll also be streaming this across our church's YouTube channel as well, live August 30th, Sunday evening at 6 p.m. And I really am excited about some of the things we've got planned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it will still be our Christmas preview, but there's going to be some other things in there as well that I think we will all have some fun with. And the reason I say gather your whole family, your kids, and everybody is our approach this year to Christmas, slightly different than the last few years since I've been here. This year, we're going to take a multi-generational approach and include our kids and our students in with our adult choir and our instrumentalists and orchestra like we do every year, and bring these groups and ensembles together to lead out in what's, I think, going to be an incredible, powerful, multi-generational Christmas worship night. And so I'll be giving some more details, lining some more of that out as in Christmas in August in this live-streamed event. And so that's why I say gather everybody, and let's have some fun together over live stream that night, August 30th. And just like always, it'll be our Christmas music preview. And so the week leading up, every year at Christmas in August, you get your first Christmas gift. And so that week leading up to Christmas in August this year, there will be a gift delivered to you at home from somebody. And you'll have your first Christmas gift. That will have some fun items in it as far as a gift goes. And then it'll also have your music in it. It'll have your CDs. It'll have rehearsal dates and that kind of thing. And that's where we kind of press play again. We press pause on our kids' choirs and their updates. But we'll kind of get back into that right now as far as rehearsal dates. Because this is going to be an event this year that's going to include everybody, kids, students, adults, our instrumentalists and orchestra. Our kids, as far as rehearsals, we're not going to go back to that weekly format just quite yet. But we're going to continue with our Saturday Christmas rehearsals as we always do every single year, and our kids will be included in those. And so come Christmas in August 30th, kids, you will receive rehearsal dates for Saturdays throughout the fall leading up to our Christmas concert of worship in December. And you will find out that those cards, those dates will include you with some time slots, and those will be your rehearsal times throughout the fall. And so really excited about that, and really excited about Christmas in August being a live-streamed event. We'll share it here within our group, but then also just remember that will be over our church's main Facebook page and our YouTube channel, just like every Sunday morning. If you've been watching our services, our live streams, then you will know right where to find this. One other point, because our kids will be involved in this multi-generational Christmas night of worship, our kids will not be doing a separate Christmas musical. We're just going to all come together for one exciting night of Christmas worship this year, and that's why we're going to have these Saturday rehearsals where we'll all rehearse individually like we always do, but then we'll come together and begin learning all of this Christmas music together. Really, really excited about it. And then last thing on Christmas in August, and then we'll wrap up with one other point. This is every year is an outreach event. If you'll remember, as we approach this every year, I say that it's for our current members of our worship, music and worship ministry, but then it's also an outreach event for people that would like to get plugged in. And I encourage you every year to invite people that you think might want to come and be a part of our worship and of our Christmas musical each year. Let's not neglect that this year. Even though it's going to be different, even though it's going to be a live-streamed event, share this information with other people. Let them know how they can watch, how they can do that. Invite people to do that. I might even say, if you're comfortable with it, do something like host a watch party. Invite people over to your home, or find a place that you would be comfortable watching something like that together, and get together, watch together, find out how we all are going to be involved this year, and have a good time. And so that's just that last point there. Don't neglect the outreach side of our Christmas in August this year, just because it's going to be a little bit different. I think it really can be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it, and even from your standpoint, from the viewer standpoint, taking this opportunity to invite other people, to host them maybe in your home, and have fun with it. Maybe throw a little mini Christmas party on your own there in your home. Have people over and have fun with it as we look towards the Christmas season together. So as we wrap up tonight, let me just for a moment go back to addressing our adult worship choir for just these last few moments. The game plan that I laid out earlier, which is resuming our rehearsals on September 13th, resuming leading from the loft on Sunday, October 4th, it's just that. It's a plan. And again, we don't know what things are going to look like, what this world holds. And then also, even if we can, if we feel comfortable, and I'm praying and hoping that we will, and I think we will, I'm very optimistic about this with the things that we've got in place. This is all obviously very contingent, solely contingent on each of you and your desire and readiness to get back involved and get back plugged in leading worship each week through our rehearsals and through singing in the loft. So what I'm asking you to do is, like you've done with some other things, and our children's ministries have done this. We did this for Vacation Bible School this year. But we're going to send out just a quick 4-question survey. It's really shorter than that because one of those is your name. But tomorrow, August 13th, through your email, you should be receiving a survey that will just ask you about your desire and your readiness to get plugged back in. And so, like I said, I want to do everything that I can to make this available to you. I absolutely cannot wait to get back together, to sing again, and I hope that you feel the same. But if you don't, that's okay. I just need to know that. And so in this survey, it'll just simply ask you about your desire and your readiness. There will be options of just, yes, you're ready to jump back in both feet with rehearsals and leading on Sunday mornings on those appropriate dates. There's also going to be an option on there where maybe you're still a little hesitant about gathering on Sundays, but you would still like to jump back in with our choir and be looking towards Christmas and that kind of thing. And so you might just want to come for a smaller group gathering for our rehearsals on Sunday evenings. There's a rehearsal-only option, but kind of hold off on Sundays for now. Totally fine. I completely understand that. And then there's going to be an option of just saying, no, you're not quite ready to jump back in. And again, totally understand, completely fine with that. I just need to know how to plan and to prepare as we move forward with this game plan. In that survey also, there's going to be a question that asks you to tell us your thoughts on some health and safety guidelines that you might like to see in place. We've already got some that will kind of be non-negotiable that we'll put out there for you, and that we'll say these are some things that we're asking you to do. But many of you may have better ideas and more ideas for us. And so I would ask that each of you thoughtfully, prayerfully respond to that one as well and let us know some things. Like I said, singing is a whole nother ballgame. And so as we approach this time, we want to be safe, we want to be cautious. And so give us your feedback on that in that survey as well. And so as I said to start that, please take the time and respond in that. That will be sent out tomorrow morning, August 13th. And so please check your email and respond accordingly. I don't see any other questions or comments on here, and so we'll go ahead and wrap up at this time. I'm excited to bring this game plan for you to you, excited to begin gathering together once again. And so if you need to rewind, if you need to rewatch this to kind of jot those dates down, to put them in your calendar, and to join me in the excitement. Invite others to not only Christmas in August, but just coming back together again on September 13th. If you know of somebody that plays an instrument that would like to get plugged in our worship team instrumental ensemble or our orchestra for Christmas, do that. If you know somebody on the technical side of things, we're always looking for people to jump in on that team as well. Anthem, can't wait to get back with you. Kids choirs, this Christmas is going to be so exciting to have you guys with us. And so just continue to keep your eyes and your ears open. We'll gather back together as we can, and absolutely cannot wait. So excited to see all of you again. Let me pray for us, and we'll wrap this thing up. Thanks for joining us again tonight. Father, I thank you so much for these people. I thank you for this team. I thank you for the privilege that I have to lead them and to gather with them each and every week. I thank you for their hearts to worship and to lead out in that worship. And so, God, as we move forward, as we just kind of, again, slowly press that gas pedal and begin gaining some momentum, gaining some traction, God, keep us safe, keep us healthy, give us the insight that we need to proceed cautiously and safely. And then just give us the excitement, give us the adrenaline, the desire to gather back together, to begin singing once again, to worship you through music. There's nothing else like it. We know that worship is so much more than just music. But God, you've given us that avenue. You've given us the talents. You've given us the desire to do that through music. And so we want to use that to the best of our ability. Thank you for each one of these people that are watching this video, whether it's now live or at another time. Thank you for them giving up their time to do that and to be a part of this ministry. Bless each one of us as we continue on navigating these times. And until we're back together, we ask all these things in your name. Amen. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.